Hey everyone, it's Agent Meat from Delta Tactical. In today's video, I'm going to showcase a build that I've been working on for a while. It's sort of my go-to build. The pieces have come and gone, and it's changed and morphed over the years that I've played the game. But in its current form, it's one of my favorite go-to builds. It centers around the Kingbreaker and the philosophy that I wanted to stack as much multiplicative damage as possible while having high armor. With my play style, I tend to play fairly aggressively, but I'm also sloppy in my play style. I get caught into situations still where I get surprised or walk straight into a grenade that I should have known was there, things like that. And I'm actually going to show some of that in this in a couple of the clips of this run through. I've tried a couple of different variations of this build, mostly centering around how much weapon damage and how much armor that I'm running. By doing two quick changeouts, just by changing from an armor core, from an armor core to a weapon core on the Fox's Prayer and the Contractor's Gloves. I'm down to 1.5 million armor, but my main weapon damage is up to 116.4, and to put that into context, with 1.9 million armor, my weapon damage is 98.7. So giving up, I guess it would be about 18,000 K or 18K damage by going to the higher armor. But I've got far better survivability. When I was running it at 1.5 million armor with the two weapon cores, with my playstyle, it wasn't working for me. I needed a little bit of extra armor for the additional survivability. I don't notice a whole lot of difference in terms of how long it takes the enemies to be killed. Obviously, there is a slight difference, but it's not an appreciable difference. So I found the survivability worked for me in my playstyle better. I'm going to go over the build really quick and then roll some of the footage. There's no commentary during the footage. I'm going to run the complete playthrough with the 1.9 million armor. In the playthrough, you're going to see in one of the rooms, just for complete transparency, you're going to see a couple of memento trophies on the ground, and you'll see some drops on the ground. I had run this initially with the 1.5 million armor, and just kept getting myself into trouble. I'd been running this last night with a group of 4 on the same mission on Heroic. With the additional bodies drawing aggro, the 1.5 million armor seems to work just fine. And the additional damage output was welcome to the group that I was in. In terms of how I've got this build set up, I'm running the Kingbreaker, and I'm running it with the Technician specialization so that I can run the linked laser pointer in the underbarrel rail. With the linked laser pointer, I'm pulsing every enemy I aim at, so I don't have to worry about proccing a perfect flatline. In conjunction with that, I went with the Uzina backpack with Perfect Spotter. So just by pulsing the enemy, I'm now getting 40% amplified weapon damage to the pulsed enemies. The Memento backpack is obvious. It's probably for PvE play, it's best in slot. It just does so much for any build that you throw it on. You get weapon damage, you get an armor core, you get skill tier. And then with the short-term and long-term trophies that you're collecting, with the short-term, these last for up to 10 seconds, and you get plus 5 weapon damage, plus 10 based on your weapon damage cores. You get plus 10 bonus armor based on the number of cores that you have, and you get plus 5 skill efficiency based on the skill tiers that you have. It's very impressive how much bonus armor you can collect in a very short period of time if you're running over those trophies as you're running and gunning. For most of my builds, I'm using it for the long-term buffs. I get an additional 1% weapon damage for every stack, so I'm getting plus 30% weapon damage. I'm getting plus 1% skill efficiency, so again, I've now got 30% skill efficiency. skill efficiency is every skill stat under one umbrella or roof, if you will. So it is skill damage, skill haste, skill status effect, and there's one more, and I can't think of it. Skill duration. So all four are getting buffed by 30%. So even though this is not a skill build, it means that my shield has more health. It means that my striker drone has more health and does more damage. And more importantly, after the striker drone goes down or when I put my shield away, they both regenerate much more quickly. So the shield regenerates and the cooldown time on the striker drone is less just by having this. And then really what I'm running it for is this 0.1% armor regeneration for 300 seconds. That's 5 minutes. So at 30 stacks, 0.1, that's 3% armor regeneration. All you have to do is run across one more trophy or pick up one trophy, and this cooldown resets. So once you're stacked, unless you get killed, or unless 5 minutes elapses between your last pickup and your next pickup, you will have those stacks. I'm running a piece of Bellstone. It's a perfect roll. It was double crit with an armor core. And again, I've got another additional plus 1% armor regen. So again, I'm running 4% armor regen when the memento is fully stacked. You've seen these. They contractor gloves. These are identical except one has weapon damage and one has an armor core. They are rolled to crit chance. And the Fox's Prayer knee pads, again, they're exactly the same. Armor core, this time is damage to targets out of cover, and 6% crit chance. And they're rolled identically except they're opposite. So it's just an option if you happen to have both pieces. You can run it either way, or a combination. So you could end up at about 1.7 million armor and have one red core. When I set this up originally, what I had actually was a Fenris piece as a mask, and I ran that like that for quite a long period of time until recently. In this season, I actually got a Hollow Man mask in one of the named item caches. I threw it on here for no other reason that I wanted to rank up the proficiency. And right around that time, which is about 3 weeks ago, Kamikaze Von Doom put out a video talking about a build that he'd created that it was 3 pieces of Matador and the Hollow Man mask to give him 36% damage to health. So I decided to give it a try. Threw it on here, and what I noticed immediately was once you get through an enemy's armor, their health disappears fairly quickly. And when you're dealing with red bars, the warhounds, the mini tanks, and the heavies or chungas, you eat through their health quite quickly because of the additional health damage. So because I'm running an assault rifles by default have 21% health damage. The Hollow Man mask gives me an additional 10%. So I'm running 31%. If I had 3 pieces of Walker on this build, that would give me another plus 5. 36% seems to be about the maximum you can attain. So this is a good balance with pieces that I have and a build that I already had created. So that's the build in total. I'm running the the Crusader shield, which is a tier 6 shield because of the blue cores. It happens to have an expertise of 8, so it's got an additional 8% active regeneration. So while it's out and in use, it is regenerating. And you can see so that gives me, and I'm not sure how these stats work. It's 60% because of the tiers, and I get an additional 8% because of expertise. That's an I think. I'm positive. And then I'm running the Striker drone. I run these in an awful lot of my builds. I like its ability to draw aggro off of me. You'll see when I take down I can't think of his name. It's Major something or other in the outside courtyard. I let the Striker drone draw his aggro, and then I came around a corner and was able to shoot more at his backpack and break his armor. But it also does damage. It is a skill tier 2 drone because I get 1 passive from the Technician class. and I've got one from the Memento backpack. So it's doing an additional 40% striker damage. It's got an additional 140% health. And again, it is also expertise 8, so it's plus 8 striker damage. So it's doing additional damage. So that's the build. In terms of stats, primary weapon for PvE is 98.7k weapon damage, 50% crit chance, 92.2 crit damage, 75% headshot damage. In terms of how I'm using this, what I'm trying to do basically is aim for the upper chest and allow the recoil of the Kingbreaker to pull up into the head. I find that works well for me, and then I'll start moving the mouse down to maintain the headshots. I'm not always successful at that, but that's what I'm trying to do. I'm getting 8% armor damage from the Fox's Prayer. 31, or correction, from the Fox's Prayer, I think. Hang on. No, it's from the Contractor's Gloves. And then not listed on here is the damage to targets out of cover. The Kingbreaker has plus 10%. And the Fox's Prayer give you an additional 8%. So I'm actually getting 18% damage to targets out of cover. So there's a lot of multiplicatives on here. I've got the amplified damage to pulsed enemies, both from Perfect Flatline and from Spotter. Perfect Spotter. I'm getting armor damage at 8%. That's multiplicative. I'm getting 31% health damage, and I'm getting that unlisted 18% damage to targets out of cover. So even though I'm running all blue cores with 1.9 million armor, this still hits quite hard. It's not obviously the hardest hitting build in the game, but it's got great survivability. It's a lot of fun to play. For someone like me who is not the best player in the game, it overcomes my shortcomings. I play somewhat sloppy sometimes, and it allows me to survive and keep going and just have fun playing the game.
A quick disclaimer before we roll the game footage. I'm SHD level 2826, which means that my watch levels are maxed out in terms of offensive, defensive handling, and utility. The weapons I'm using are also expertise level 13, and some of my gear has been expertise leveled up as well. So you may not get the same numbers that I'm getting. So bear that in mind if you decide to recreate this build. You won't be able to just copy and paste and get exactly what I'm getting out of it.
So we're going to roll the footage for the gameplay at Lincoln Memorial. And the way I'm going to do it is show you all of the footage from the completed run with the 1.9 million armor. And then at the end, show the rooms where I got myself into trouble running 1.5 million armor. And like I said, it was mostly my own lack of awareness of the things that were going on around me. And perhaps a little bit of arrogance in relying too much on the armor that I had in the armor regen and didn't think it all the way through. So I'm going to roll the footage and I'll see you on the other side.
We need you to secure the memorial and remove the True Sons' forces. If they maintain this outpost, the True Sons will be a direct threat to the campus.
Got a visual.
critical.
Out of ammo! Find a better position. Unloading on target! Get him!
He's trying to get behind you.
All clear. I repeat, compound is all clear.
Get the fuck off!
Damn it.
Get back! Watch yourself! Get that thing off me!
According to the schematics Isaac pulled upstairs, we can lock that tunnel door from their control center. That should keep them from being able to transport those mortars loaded at 62.
Got something for you!
want to head back up. You should be proud. You saved a lot of lives today.
Immediate medical assistance needed. Agent vital signs, 0.
Get moving! I'm down! I'm mobilizing target!
Here, fuck here!
No, I'm all Oh! He's dead!
Want more of this?
Seal spotted!
Nowhere to hide.
Serious trauma detected.
Got you. New vision.
Agent vital signs, 0.
Going up now.
All right, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the video footage. Hope you found the build useful. It again is I don't know if I showed you this in my loadout, but it's my primary, and it really truly is any content in terms of PVE. I have a confession. I am not a PvP player, or at least not a good PvP player. So I mostly stick to playing PvE with my clanmates. You can run this on any difficulty. I would suggest for legendary content, there are probably some adjustments that would need to be made. And I again, for full transparency, have not run this build on legendary content. I run different builds when I play legendary. But for any of the main content, anything from hard through to heroic, this handles it with grace. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. Again, if you like the content, like what you've been seeing, please hit subscribe. And please interact with the video. Like, comment, and if possible, share. I appreciate all of the comments that I've gotten in the recent videos, and thank you very much for watching.